What's up, guys? It's Jay, MorninAfterKill, and today is the first day of spring. Can't you see it outside? The sky is clear, the sun is shining, birds are chirping, right? Yeah? Wrong! Even though it's the first day of spring, evidently here in New Jersey, it's not, because we're waiting on a few inches of snow sometime today, overnight to tomorrow, and I'm really disappointed in the groundhog this year. This is possibly the last year that I depend on a little rodent motherfucker for my weather prediction analysis, because he's just not cutting it this year. Early spring or not, it is now officially spring. Damn it! The amount of winter in my spring is too damn high. But with that said, it's still Sunday, which means that it's time for another Sunday Q&A, which is actually factually happening on a Sunday, and I promise it will be uploaded on a Sunday, barring any unforeseen difficulties with not having internet due to climate problems with an invaded winter into my fucking spring. It will be uploaded on a Sunday sometime in the early evening, but even if this is your first time here for Q&A, I trust you know how this works, right? You leave the Q, I give you the A, then we go about our B, right? Got it? Good? Fantastic. Let's go ahead and give you the first Q for your A from Caleb Packer, who wants to know if a lot of people recognize my voice when I go to the gym or out to eat or anywhere in the Publix. So, Caleb, here's the thing. I've been recognized by my voice a few times. And it hasn't happened in a really long ass time. And I've talked about it in my Q&A before. If you guys really want to know, ask me in the comment section and I'll give you guys a link to that video. But I don't feel like going into that whole story, especially when I've told it like 4 or 5 times on my channel already. But I'm pretty sure since then, it's possible that a few people probably have recognized my voice and just didn't say anything out of respect for, you know, respecting another person's boundaries in life. But mainly, I feel like it doesn't happen because I don't talk to people that I don't know in person. I know that seems weird, but it's normal to me being half deaf, you know? It's already a hassle talking to people that I don't know, that don't understand what it's like talking to somebody that's half deaf. And the problem with telling somebody that you're half deaf is now this conversation is gonna go one of either two fucking ways. One, they either talk really loud and slowly like I'm retarded. No, sir! Not retarded. I comprehend well. I just can't understand the vibrations that your voice is making. It's not my fault. It's not yours. But please, cut that shit out. Or two, they're gonna bust out into a story about someone that they know that's half deaf. It's usually an older member of their family, and how it's just hilarious when at blah 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 family function, blah 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 said blah blah blah, but then he thought somebody said blah blah blah, and the miscommunication was so hilarious because blah 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 is half deaf. Once again, not interested in anything about your life in particular, not to be rude or to be an asshole, but I've heard the outcome of this conversation so many times that I have no interest in taking part in walking down this conversation path with you either. So I ignore people in public the best I can. I stand there and I smile if a cashier tries to make small talk with me. I walk past people that are slowing down to talk to me, and I just walk completely right past them, or I'll avoid making eye contact with somebody purposely so they don't accidentally assume that it's an invitation to come talk to me. And I know that sounds terrible, but like I said, pretty much when you are half deaf, everyone in your life is like a video game NPC, and now they want to tell you how somebody they know took an arrow to the motherfucking knee. And it gets old. It gets old really fucking fast. So to answer your question, yes, I have been recognized in the past. I don't really do a lot of talking to people that I don't know in public these days anyway. So no, it just hasn't happened in a really long time. And the next question comes from Dappy. He's Dappy! But yes, Dappy wants to know what my views are on zombies in games, media, pop culture, etc. This is actually a good question, because if you watched my South Park Stick of Truth Let's Play, there's a point in the game where for no reason at all, Nazi zombies just make an appearance. And without really spoiling the jokes in-game, there's a lot of social commentary that Matt and Trey injected into the game about how zombies and Nazis, both in particular, are overused as enemies in pop culture. I agree with that. I get the whole Nazi connection, right? Alright, Nazis are pretty much a universal evil in human history. It makes sense that they're going to be enemies in a lot of video games, in a lot of movies, in a lot of TV episodes that you're going to be watching and consuming on a daily basis, right? So, I've never once heard somebody say, man, that Hitler, that's a guy who has it all together, man. Man with a plan, a 10-year plan. No, no! It just doesn't happen unless you're that asshole that's on the internet and you're looking to say, like, the most fucking perverse thing you can for cheap shock value. In which case, if that's you, you're using Hitler to troll people, it's just, you need to step your fucking game up, son. Relying on Hitler for shock value is pretty much like using Eddie Gordo in Tekken 3. It's cheap, and it takes no skill whatsoever. But yeah, like, zombies never really fit my fancy. Outside of Resident Evil, right? Resident Evil and House of the Dead, they both get a pass because they're the originators of the whole zombie video game movement. Resident Evil wasn't really technically zombies. It was more of a scientific virus that kind of went wrong, and we ended up with undead, but they were also mutated monsters in the game. So it's not just exclusively zombies. And House of the Dead, yeah, you shoot a bunch of fucking zombies inside a house, but it was fucking awesome back in the day. but everything else that just has zombies in it for no reason, kinda, I'd like to start seeing some other shit. Like, I mean, for a while there we had what was that? The Legacy of Kain and Soul Reaver. That was fringing on the whole vampire lore. That was pretty cool. I wouldn't mind seeing a game where you play as like a werewolf, where you're like a dude and fucking the moon happens in like a day-night cycle. So, you're just like a dude during the day, but if you don't handle your business by night, you become the werewolf and you gotta do some fucking shit as the werewolf, and you have two intertwining storylines as man and werewolf, and they don't have any memory of each other. I should just write this fucking... That would be a great game! The fuck, MAK? Make the werewolf game. Clickety clack. Put that shit inside my folder here for a later date. But yeah, I'd like to see something like vampires or werewolves, or even some fucking Starship Troopers style big ass bugs. That's what we need, is a loot and shoot Starship Troopers style games. I would play that shit for all fucking eternity is farming big ass bugs on Cledathu and going to different outer rim areas in the Starship Troopers universe. I need to just start making games, honestly. I need to just start making my own video games. But zombies just are kind of uninteresting in my opinion. Like the atypical generic zombie, right? They're slow, lethargic, and they're just overused, like I said, in this point in pop culture. I wouldn't mind seeing a shift back to some good old, monsters, vampires, even fucking going to hell with some demons. Or like I said before, some big-ass fucking bugs. Need to see some more Earth Defense Force style shit in my life. That brings us to the title question of the video, one that I'm not even sure why I picked this, other than the fact that when I read it, it made me bust out laughing just thinking about it. Because Tallulah So, resident naysayer on my channel, always comes in the comment section and says the most negative ass shit you ever seen for no fucking reason at all, just to be negative. Wants to know if I ever shit my pants gaming. Because apparently this is a common thing that happens these days, that kids shit themselves because they were in the middle of a video game. It's like, what? Who the fuck shits themselves over a video game? Like, seriously, I mean, we've all gambled on a fart and lost before, right? And if you haven't, that means you probably will, and you shouldn't. Because even if you gamble on a fart and you win, you still kind of lose. It's like the Hunger Games. No one wins in that situation. But I don't think there would ever be a time where I've said, oh man, I really gotta shit, but I don't want to because I'm in the middle of this game and I can't pause it. Just fucking drop a deuce in your draw. This wild game. And I mean, I've shit myself. Don't get me wrong, I'm not above fucking taking a dump in my pants by accident. It was for way more important reasons than a fucking video game. I think the last time I actually shit in my pants, and I'm not talking about, oh my god, I gotta race to the toilet and maybe skip a stone off the rim into the water as you're sitting down. I'm talking about actually, factually firing off a duke in the shorts and having the crab walk to the bathroom with a crack of ass full of shit. I think the last time this actually happened to me, I was working on my Chevy Beretta. I was installing a Z26 style front bumper with the ground effects, and I got it from the junkyard. It was in pretty good shape, but it wasn't the color I wanted, so I sanded it down and I prepped it up, and it looked real good, and I had it finished, and boom! As soon as I tightened everything up and got everything looking good, the bubble guts just hit me like a German shepherd trying to get a hug from me. If you ever had a big dog, you know what I'm talking about. It's when he just comes up to you and goes, that's what my stomach was doing. It's doing the fucking German Damn. Worst feeling ever, too, right? Because I just got done buttoning everything up. Fantastic. Now, I had $2,000 worth of tools laid on the ground out front. And I had the choice to either leave my tools outside and risk them being stolen, or pack them up as fast as I can and get my ass inside. So I said, fuck it. I tried to turtle my ass the best that I could while scrambling to toss all my tools in the box. And trust me, if you ever see a mechanic tossing just random sockets and wrenches back in a box without putting them away on the rails properly, you know that they're in a hurry. And as soon as I got all the tools put away, I ran inside the door, and literally the first foot up the stairs into my apartment, everything, all my internal plumbing in my duodenum here, my intestines, my fucking colon, and my asshole tract, everything just lined up perfectly like the solar system, and just boom came the dynamite. I pancaked a turd right into my drawers. that's all she wrote. But never once did I fire off a Duke in my pants during a video game. especially since my man cave here has a toilet, which it's within what I call drunk stumbling distance of my desk. So if I got drunk as fuck right now, and I stood up and I stumbled 3 or 4 steps, I'm in my bathroom. I'll be able to find the toilet. So I think it would be impossible for me to literally shit myself. I would have to actually try to shit myself during a video game than shit myself during a video game. And the final question of the week comes from Leaf Shimmers, who wants to know if I consider myself a book reader, and if so, what do I like to read? Well, first off, I consider myself a reader for sure. Whether it's a book that I'm reading on a daily basis or not, I don't really find it too important what a person reads, so long as a person spends a little bit of time reading something on a daily basis. You know, the more you do this, the sharper that your mind will be. But yeah, I love to read, and I read all types of shit, whether it's random Wikipedias about subjects that interest me, or browsing through an Ender dump at like 4 a.m., or even if it's just sitting on the toilet reading the Game Informer magazine while firing off aforementioned said Duke. Seriously, I have like a stack of like 50 Game Informers. Like pretty much every Game Informer made for the last 4 or 5 years is in my man cave in just one large stack. One of my favorite things to do while taking a shit is I pull out a random old Game Informer and I read like an old article of like Destiny or Borderlands 2 pre-release, and I'll see them mention something like, oh, the Thresher ate the moon beacon and gained a shield during our preview. It was so cool. I remember how hype that these things sounded when reading about it, and you just like start thinking about it, you're like, man, they're just talking about a random point in the story that has no actual important basis throughout the entire game. But when it comes to actual books, yeah, I read books quite often, and my favorite 2 authors actually couldn't be further apart. My favorite all-time author would be John Grisham, just because I've always been fascinated with law, lawyers, and the whole courtroom drama, and the way that John Grisham ties together a story at the end, bringing what seemed like small, insignificant details mentioned very early in the story that end up becoming a major plot point later on. No one does a law thriller better than John Grisham. And my favorite book series, however, was written by my second favorite author. So while John Grisham is my favorite author overall, my favorite series of books was written by Orson Scott Card, and that's better known as the mastermind behind the Ender's Game series, which, if you ever read Ender's Game, there's actually an entire anthology of books that follow after Ender's Game, and it doesn't just follow him and his sister, but there's also a whole parallel book series called Ender's Shadow, which follows the same timeline as Ender's Game, but from his protege Bean's perspective. And it's one of the best written series that you could ever sink some time into. It's even better than Harry Potter. Y'all motherfuckers know how I love me some Harry motherfucking Potter, man. But yeah, even Mr. Potter doesn't hold a candle to the Enderverse series. Please believe that. Please believe that. So, my name is Jay. MorninAfterKill. I want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys rate, comment, subscribe. If you could leave a thumbs up on the video, I'd highly appreciate it because it gives me motivation to make more videos for you motherfuckers to watch my motherfucking videos. Leave a question in the comment section down below. But please, only on this video and this video only. I still see people coming into other fucking videos that I make during the week and say, this is for the Q&A. Well, motherfucker, if this is for the Q&A, come find the fucking Q&A and leave it on the Q&A, or else you're not gonna have a chance to be in the Q&As. Just that simple, please. Make life easy for you, me, and Dupree. I fucking hate that movie so much. I really do. I don't even know why. I just referenced it. So, my name's Jay. MorninAfterKill. Thanks for watching. And I'm gonna see you guys later.
Thanks. Meet me back at Sanctuary. I got a plan to stop Jack, but it won't work without you.
You saved Roland. This planet's been waiting for a hero like you. Thank goodness Jack didn't send Wilhelm.